Even though you don't think it, your childhood trauma is still affecting you to this day. If you don't know me, my name is Krishna, and I help young men quit their porn addictions by teaching the lessons that I personally learned throughout my journey. I remember when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I was in my living room. I was sitting on the couch next to my mom, and we were watching this one movie. I don't exactly remember what movie we were watching, but I remember it was around evening time. And around evening time is when my father would come home from work. It gets around maybe 6:30 p.m. I hear the door open, right? And my father walks in. And then he says hi to my brother. And my brother's standing in the doorway. He says hi to my brother. He goes, he finds my mom. And they start talking a little bit, right? And I can't remember exactly what I said to him, but I'm pretty sure I said something slightly disrespectful. I was like 7 years old, right? And instead of telling me like, hey, don't say that, that's not a nice thing to say, that's not a respectful thing to say, etc. Straight away he goes over, he picks me up, he throws me against the wall, and he starts beating me, he starts punching me, right? He starts yelling at me because of the disrespectful thing that I said. The reason why I tell that is because, I mean, that was just one instance of physical violence. Obviously there were more, but those types of events, the violence, whether it's physical, psychological, sexual, whatever, right? The abuse, the neglect, the threats of violence, right? All of those things, especially when you're a young kid, you may not know it, but even after the abuse might be over, it still affects you to this day. It still affects your behavior. And it's interesting that when that abuse was happening, it happened from when I was a little young kid to probably when I was around like 15, 16 years old. It's interesting that during that time period, I was most addicted to porn. I was most addicted to porn during those times. I'm just going to go over just a few things that might help you. If you struggle with porn addiction, you also have had a hard childhood trauma and stuff like that. There's a reason why, the first thing I'll say is that there's a reason why you feel empty after you watch porn. Not just guilt, not just shame, emptiness. Why is that? Because after you watch porn, there is a lack of love and safety once more, right? And I'll explain this a little bit. We watch porn not just for pleasure, right? Obviously, that's a component of it. Obviously, yeah, it feels nice. It's like hyper-stimulating and whatnot. But the deeper reason why we almost need porn is because of the love and the safety that we didn't receive as a child. We, as humans, we all need to feel love. We all need to feel safety, right? That's a natural human need. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually healthy to want those things, right? And we need that so that we can stay properly regulated, so that we can stay properly healthy, so that we can then eventually take our genes and pass them down to the next generation, right? There's nothing wrong with needing those things. The problem comes in childhood when we don't get our needs met, right? When we don't get the love that we need, when we don't get the safety that we need. And even if we grow older, there's still that inner child within us who wants that love and safety. And if they can't get it from their parents, if they can't get it from other people, they need to get it from somewhere, right? And not only that, but also combined with the harsh environment of domestic abuse and stuff like that, where you feel unsafe, right? You feel sort of hyper-vigilant most hours of the day. Well, I remember when my dad would come home from work, I would feel, well, hyper-vigilant, right? I would always be constantly watching whether or not he's around, what he's doing. My ears were very, very attuned to his pattern of walking when he walked down the steps. It's like you can kind of tell who is walking down the steps by the way that they walk, the noise that it makes. That combined, right, the need for love and not getting it combined with a harsh environment. That is actually a recipe for an addiction, especially porn, because not only does porn provide us that sense of love and safety, but it's also a way for us to escape our real life. It's a way for us to escape what happened to us when we were a kid, or if we've been through just abuse in general. It's just a way to escape abuse, right? It's a form of escapism. And porn basically gave me the illusion of fake love and fake safety and fake connection, right? Because when we ejaculate, there's certain hormones that are released that are supposed to bond us, pair bond us to another person. It's what's supposed to happen, but instead, we just did it with a screen and our hand. And my nervous system learned that porn was basically a place where I could go to feel safe, right? It was a place where I didn't get rejected and I didn't get hurt either, right? It was purely unconditional, right? Because it didn't question me, right? It didn't berate me, it didn't yell at me, it didn't threaten me. It was just there, right? I know this might seem like really, really weird, but that is what porn was for me. It was a place where I could go to feel loved, in a sense. And in a sense, I wasn't exactly addicted to porn. I was addicted to feeling love and feeling safe in an unsafe environment. And when we feel that shame and that guilt, it actually reinforces the cycle further. Because what happens is we get an urge, right? We get our motivation to do a certain thing increases. We do the action, and then we feel the guilt. We feel the guilt and the shame that comes from doing that action. Along with this guilt comes, again, the deep sense of emptiness, the longing for love and connection that we need. That exposes the hole that we have in our hearts, right? And that hole is quite painful to fill. It is very, very painful to fill. We then use porn again to not only fill up that hole that we have in our hearts, but again, to escape our environment and to escape the negative feelings that we're feeling. It just creates a self-reinforcing cycle where we just dig ourselves into a deeper and deeper hole until eventually we can't even see the light coming from above. Your actionable step for this video, if you want to take it, is to practice just a little bit of self-love and a little bit of reparenting. And the way to do this is actually to talk to your inner child, right? To talk to him. So what you can do, and this is what I did, all I did was I grabbed a journal, opened it up, and I basically just acknowledged all of the pain and all of the hurt and the lack of love that little me didn't get in that environment, right? And once you acknowledge that, because if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, that little you is just longing for somebody to just acknowledge him, somebody to just say, your pain is justified. You're not wrong for feeling this way. You're not crazy for feeling this way. You did deserve love and you didn't get it. The unfortunate reality is that very few people are going to say that, right? A lot of people, they've got their own issues to deal with, right? They've got their own trauma to deal with. They've got whatever it is that they're dealing with themselves. The only person who can truly give this to you is you. So practice giving just a little bit of love to your inner child, right? Practice giving him the validation that he needs, right? Why don't you just say to him, hey, I see you. I see all the pain that you went through. I see all the suffering. I see all of the lonely nights that you've cried, right? I see all of it, and I still love you for it, right? Because that is the first step to healing and also just reparenting. If you found that these free videos are helpful for you, if you found that this video helped you, and you're interested in learning how to actually quit porn using a step-by-step system, I have a program. It has 5 main phases that you can follow, 5 things that you can do. You just follow it in order. It has everything that you need. And if you're interested in that, to not only quit porn, but become the person that you want to be, then you can go And you can click the link in the description down below. Take care, bro.